When you've been through too much, you forget what an ordinary day feels like. Not because you no longer want one, but because little by little, you've forgotten what it feels like. At first, you don't even notice the change. You just realize your mornings no longer begin with peace. They begin with checking. Your mind takes inventory. What could go wrong? What did I miss? What's coming next? Your body wakes up before you do. And without asking for your permission, it slips back into survival mode. You've lived like this for years, long enough to mistake vigilance for responsibility, exhaustion for maturity, and fear for normality. Time no longer passes in hours. It passes in crises you've survived, in disasters you've avoided, in days you somehow managed to endure. Then you look at other people, you watch them lose their patience in traffic, complain about a cold cup of coffee, sigh over things that once would have seemed important to you too, and you find yourself wondering, how did they get to live so close to peace? It takes time before you understand. It isn't because they're shallow. It's because their world never demanded that they stay on guard every second of every day. For someone who has lived in safety, inconveniences become problems. For someone who has lived in survival mode, the absence of danger feels suspicious. That's why peace can become unsettling. When the noise disappears, you start looking for it. When there's no danger, your mind begins to create one, because it has learned to believe that every moment of calm is only the silence before the next storm. And then you begin to forget the little things. You forget the taste of your morning coffee. Not because it has lost its flavor, but because you're never truly there while you're drinking it. You forget what a sunset looks like. Because you're always looking beyond it, toward the darkness that comes after. You even forget what hope feels like. Not because you've given up on it, but because you've learned not to trust anything that can disappear. And yet, there is a truth many people discover only after their hardest battles. You stop dreaming about an extraordinary life. You stop chasing success, adventure, or glory. Instead, you begin longing for something infinitely rarer. An ordinary day, a morning where you don't have to check if you're safe, a conversation where you aren't searching for hidden intentions, a door you can open without bracing for impact, a night where you can fall asleep without negotiating with your own thoughts. Maybe true healing isn't about becoming stronger. Maybe you've been strong enough all along. Maybe healing begins the moment you no longer feel the need to prove it. The moment you allow your shoulders to relax, to breathe without defending yourself, to live without expecting the next blow, and to discover that peace isn't a reward. It isn't a fragile pause between two storms. It is the place where life was always meant to happen.